Welcome to the Embrace Strength podcast. I'm your host, Ashley Crocker. I am an experienced trainer and active life professional. I work with people who are struggling with nagging pain to get back to the activities they love without fear of re-injury. This podcast is here to educate and provide value to you on all things health, fitness, staying active, and personal development. Let's dive in. Hello. Welcome back to the pod and welcome back to my weekly recap. This is episode 4 out of 52, in case you missed it. Every single week this year on Fridays, I'm posting a weekly recap to give you a behind the scenes look into how my week has been, what I'm working on, things I'm learning, and just giving you guys a behind the scenes look at my life, because there are a lot of nosy Nellies out there and I know you guys love this stuff. There's a reason that my podcast episode that I posted a few weeks ago, the one called Beside the BTS Business Things No One Talks About, that's one of my most downloaded episodes I've had in a long time, and there's a reason for it. So here we go, we're getting into it. Transparently, this week has been extremely difficult. As you heard in my last week's episode, we are moving to North Carolina at the end of the month, so that has put a lot of other tasks on my plate throughout the week, on top of my already very busy work schedule that I have. So this week has just been really hard. I also started my period this week. If you're a woman, if you know that tends to heighten a lot of emotions and a lot of things that are going on in your life. So this week has been a real doozy, I feel like, but honestly, I feel a lot better today on Friday than I did Monday through Wednesday, and I'm just gonna kind of talk through that a bit. Something that has been driving me insane this week is I feel like I have so many tasks on my to-do list and I am not finishing tasks, and I absolutely hate it. Something about me is that I like starting a task and finishing a task, and it's really hard for me to not complete things and pushing things to the next day. But the reality is I have to reset my expectations of what I can actually get done in a day while still serving my clients and actually servicing my clients basically. And one thing I was thinking of this week is it's crazy to me how if content creation can be a job in and of itself, if I'm being honest, just purely creating content for different platforms and things, and that itself could be a job. And when you have your own online business, you have to do that and service your clients and plan things and do all the 500 million tiny tasks and, be a video editor and graphic design on your posts, and it can just be a lot. And I did outsource a couple of things this month because I was I do not have time to do this. So proud of myself for that. But even still, there's just so much on the creation side that I am working through, and it is I don't know, it's just a lot. But this is showbiz, baby. So it is what it is. A couple of life things that happened this week that made everything else a lot harder is I had some more pet drama. My dogs have had a little stomach bug this week, and one of them ended up being fine. I didn't have to take him to the vet. My other one, Murph, my little one, I had to take him to the vet. He was having some symptoms that were concerning, and so they had to give him some medicine or whatever. So I'm both my dogs are on 2 different medicines right now for these little bugs that they have, which I think they picked up at the vet because the front desk lady said, oh, my dog has had the same symptoms and she also had an appointment last week. So I don't know, there's some kind of virus there, I guess. So there was that. And then also I've been having some lovely back pain this week, and this is something that I tend to deal with in seasons. It really depends on my stress levels. And so obviously my stress has gone up. I'm not surprised my back is hurting. And so that signals to me, okay, it's time to do some customized programming again. So I sat down for myself this week and wrote myself some programming based on, assessments and things like that. So that feels good to just kind of get that done. One less thing off my plate, but it's a sign from my body that it's like, hey, you're feeling a lot of stress and you need to like chill the fuck out if you can. So I know I also need to be doing some more self-care, which leads me into Wednesday night. I kind of had a breaking point. This was the day that I also had to take Murph back to the vet, and by the end of the day, I was just so overloaded mentally. I was like, I need a reset. So we usually go to trivia on Wednesday nights with some of our friends, but I was like, Patrick, I cannot go. You can go without me. And I took a few hours to myself, and that was really, really, really helpful. I'm so glad that I did that. And here's exactly what I did. I put on noise canceling headphones and found a playlist that was like calming instrumental music for anxiety. Okay. And let that play on my headphones. I colored a few pages. I started coloring. That has been really helpful. Yeah, colored a few pages, wrapped up the programming for my own back, and then read some fiction. And I went to bed early. And that was really helpful because I woke up Thursday feeling a lot better. And so I think that one, knowing how to give yourself what you need is a big freaking deal when you work for yourself. I know a lot of other coaches tend to like kind of reach this emotional breaking point where they know they need a break, but then they might fill their free time with like scrolling on social media or like being around other people and things like that. And it's like, you need to know for yourself what gives you energy, what recharges you, and you need to do that. And it usually involves like de-stimulating activities, staying off of social media, just letting your brain exist, right? And so like whatever tools you need to do that, whatever you need to put in your schedule, do it. And it doesn't have to be like a full 8-hour day of this. No, it can, if you give yourself 2 hours to do some of these things, you can feel exponentially better, plus going to bed early. That can really do wonders. So that is one thing I wanted to cover. The next thing I wanted to cover about the week is celebrating yourself and looking at your growth, looking at your actual numbers, because this week, well, obviously it's now Q2, but we just wrapped up Q1, and I made the time to compare my Q1 growth this year over last year. One of the girls in my mastermind suggested we do this, and I'm so glad that I did, because what I realized was not only, yes, it was my biggest quarter ever, but this Q1 compared to last Q1 is 75% growth. What? That is absolutely insane. And I was like, wow, I should like really need to celebrate this more, because that's a big freaking deal. And I feel like a lot of us coaches do not celebrate our growth enough and do not look at our growth enough, but you really need to track your numbers, look at your growth, celebrate yourself, because if you can't celebrate yourself where you're at, you're never gonna continue to grow, right? And like, this is a huge part of the journey. So that is something I realized, and I was talking to my husband about it, and he was super excited for me, and something that he said I want to share because I think can be helpful for the other coaches and entrepreneurs out there. He said it is 100% due to you taking action and making things happen for yourself and for your business. You own all of that 75% for doing the right things. Be sure to write that on your whiteboard so you can look at this every day. And I just loved that so much, because he's exactly right. One, yes, I wrote it on my whiteboard calendar so I can see it every single day and remember that I am growing at a fast rate and have grown at a fast rate. So I should be proud of that. But also the thing that he said about like, it's due to you taking action and making things happen. And I feel like a lot of coaches get so bogged down by like doing the right things or not knowing what to do so much that it paralyzes you and you're not taking any action, and then you're crying in your cornflakes that you didn't grow in the way that you wanted to. And you guys, what I cannot express more to you is that the way that I have grown over the past year, I'm just taking action all the mother freaking time. Scared to death usually while I'm doing it. And yes, I have a strategy. Yes, I have a plan. But also there's always going to be an element and a feeling of like, is this going to work? Is this going to be the right thing? Is this the right thing? And you just can't let yourself get caught up in that. Just start taking action. If you want to grow, start taking some messy action. If you're noticing yourself not doing the things that you need to be doing to grow, you're not taking the action and you're being stuck, you need accountability. Get yourself some accountability. Pay for it. Don't use your friends for this. Don't use your significant other for this. You need to pay someone to have accountability, because that is completely different than just like putting that on your friends for free. Okay. So that's a little bit of tough love for you to like take the action, or you're not going to grow. So you have to get out of your head. And if you can't get out of your head, you need some accountability. And with that being said, to wrap up this week's weekly recap, something that I've been talking about with one of my friends is when you're in it, and by in it, I mean like in this current year, this current day, April 4th, 2025, it feels like you're never doing enough. And here's what matters. You just got to keep going, because guess what? This time last year, I also felt like this. And look at how much I grew and what my year turned into last year. And so I've been really trying to focus on that in this time. It's like, hey, last year, you didn't know if things were going to work. You felt like you weren't doing enough, but you just kept putting in the reps, and look at how much you grew. So that is going to continue to be an anchor for me this year, in this season, because what matters is that you just keep going, keep taking action, and do the things you know that are going to bring you closer to the life that you want to build for yourself. So that is all I want to say today. I don't want this to be too long, but I hope this is helpful for you. I am in the trenches with you, and if you are enjoying these weekly recaps, would love to hear from you. Send me a DM on Instagram, Ashley Crocker 127. Subscribe to the podcast so you don't miss an episode. And I will talk to you guys next week.